Okay, so I'm heading up to Terminal City Tabletop Con in Vancouver, Canada. I think we're going to start by maybe getting some coffee. Okay, and with that, let's see if we can maybe inject a little more charisma into this vlog. I don't really do vlogs. This is kind of my first time doing this, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, you need a little more charisma than some other forms of video that I do, because I can honestly fake it there. Here, you're kind of stuck with what you get. Got caramel all over my hands. The gamers are going to love that. I took a wrong turn, and so now I have to drive on this road for 10 miles. The 4 big games that I'm hopefully getting from the trade today are Cockroach Salad, Nyctophobia, Deep Sea Adventure, and there's someone with a stroller on the road. So I'm going to slow down, go around them as soon as this other car passes me. Because hitting a family is not how I want to start my Saturday. Okay, we are coming up to, I assume, the Peace Arch border crossing, which is not the one I normally take, but I am going to take off my sunglasses, put on my regular glasses, because I get very nervous and chatty around law enforcement officers for no reason at all. So that went well. A couple things. That was not the Peace Arch crossing, neither by name or by spirit. Avocados, guavas, yum. And of course, the most delicious tropical fruit, okra. So I missed my exit following and reading that tropical fruit truck, so that's probably my bad. Okay, I made it to the Croatian Cultural Center in Vancouver, but we're going to go ahead and do this math trade. I am not like the best at vlogging, it appears, because once I got into that convention center, there was a little bit of footage, but not much coherence. So I'm going to go over day 1 of the Terminal City Tabletop Convention in Vancouver, BC. Got into the convention hall around 9 o'clock, just a little bit afterwards when they opened up. Walked around for a bit and played Azul. The way it's set up, it's pretty much just all tables. They've got just a game library towards the entrance. They're running raffles all day long. Like, they do a ton of raffles. I love the way that Terminal City does their raffles. Everybody gets a raffle ticket on the way in, and just throughout the day, they're writing the numbers on the board. So you don't have to necessarily stop what you're doing and listen to a raffle draw. You just go up and you check throughout the day to see if you've won anything. I didn't. I haven't won anything. So I hung out most of the day with Leland Steele. And but before he got there, I was looking for something to do, so I found a table that was setting up Azul. I've only played Azul really once, and it was last year at the same convention, so I got a chance to play it again. I liked it a lot better this time, a lot better, and it's something that I know everyone talks about, everyone really likes, and I can kind of see why. So we played that. Right when we started, Leland showed up, so he jumped in on the second round and joined us. And it was great. So we played with 2 guys that were attending the convention. After that, I was looking through some rule books. Leland played with the guys a game of The Mind. And then one of them stuck around and we played Dinos Not Assembled, which is currently on Kickstarter at the time of recording this. Oh, I almost forgot. So before I even went and played Azul, I walked back and forth Proto Alley and kind of saw an interesting looking game called Chicken Heist from Four Tato Games. It was very tight decisions in that it's like, do I go for money? If you get more money, you're putting yourself at risk, but you need money to win the game. So you can play it safe, but you're generally not going to get as much money as maybe somebody that's just a little bit luckier than you. Ended up playing that a lot yesterday, and hanging out with Four Tato Games, just their whole crew. Hey, I've got Nathan here. He's demoing his game,
Chicken Heist.
We're here at Terminal City Tabletop Con. You can kind of see some of the gameplay going on in the background. Nathan, you want to give us a quick overview of what this is?
Yeah, for sure. So Chicken Heist is a 3 to 8 player pressure luck game. And basically, you're a chicken and you're trying to rob the bank. And basically, you could help out with your team. And you could backstab them and throw them under a bus. But the choice is yours. But you want to be the chicken who has the most money at the end of the game. So that's the gist of it.
Cool. All right. Well, it's going to be coming to Kickstarter when?
June 17th, 2019.
Okay. Cool. I played it and it was a lot of fun. All right.
Thanks a lot, Daniel.
So we played Quacks of Quedlinburg, introduced that to Leland. So after that, we saw a couple guys that were looking for players for Root, which is a game that is all the rage right now. And looks like there's another accident, so that's nice. That was probably the hardest rules grok I've ever gone through. The two guys that we were setting up with had never played the game either, so we didn't have anyone to teach us the game. And Root's a game that every player plays their faction completely differently. I mean, I played as the Vagabond, who was the sort of the one character that, instead of commanding whole armies and factions, I've got one character that I'm kind of running around doing my own thing, completing quests, picking people off to get points, sending aid to different factions, kind of doing whatever I want. Which was, once we got through, once it clicked, once we figured out what we were doing, and I'm sure we were still missing a lot of the nuances, a lot of stuff. Once we got into it, though, we had this flow, and everybody kind of knew what they were doing. But listening to, I was playing in a completely different game. Most of the stuff that the players were doing, I didn't care what they were doing. All I cared about was their point total, and I listened to the other players and decide, they're obviously concerned about someone, so I'd pay attention to what that faction was doing. But ultimately, it's a points race, right? The first person to 30 points, or there's other victory conditions, but that's the one we ended up playing till, and I ended up winning. It was a lot of fun.
That's ridiculous. 2 zeros?
But I don't know if I'm ever, it's a game that if I bought, I don't know if I would ever end up playing because of just how complicated teaching that asymmetrical of a game is. After that, we ended up getting lunch outside. There was a bunch of food trucks, so there was a coffee truck outside most of the day and a pizza truck that showed up for lunch most of the afternoon. Really good wood-fired pizza. The whole thing was, it was really tasty. Pretty affordable, too. The coffee I ended up getting was more or less just a scoop of ice cream with some espresso on it, so perfect. Exactly what I look for in a coffee. Played some Keyforge. Keyforge is great. Played a couple games of that. After that, we played some more Chicken Heist. And then we lucked out because we saw someone walking by with Wingspan, which I had really wanted to play. So we followed them back to the games library, grabbed it, and then ended up playing a game of it. I love it. I see why people are so hyped about it, and I'm hyped. I've got a pre-order of it. I'm waiting for it to come in from my local game store. And yeah, it is really, really good. I mean, everything good you've heard about Wingspan, I can see from the one play that I've had. I'm excited to explore that a little bit more. After Wingspan, we decided to grab some dinner. I found a dumpling place. This is the name of it. Here's a picture of some of the dumplings, and they were delicious. It was about maybe 5 minutes away from the convention. Yeah, it was pretty late by the time we got back, but we ran into Dennis, who'd been teaching Treasure Island all day, and so he offered to teach us Treasure Island, which was another one that I had really been wanting to play. I ended up winning. It was a blast. Found my treasure. Yeah, it was great. But we decided to bust out a copy of Skull. Played a game of Skull, which I also won. Fantastic, great. And then, I really like to get Spoil Me Not, or Nick de Bon, the German name for it. But Spoil Me Not is one of my favorite little card games, so it was really fun to introduce that to people. We played around a bit. I think everyone really enjoyed it. And I brought it with me again. Went home, dropped off a few games, loaded up some new ones into the bag. We'll see if we end up getting to play them. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what today has to offer. So the convention's over. It is Tuesday. It ended Sunday at 6 o'clock, which I didn't realize it closed at 6, which is fine. It wasn't that big a deal because I had work on Monday, so I planned on leaving a little early anyway, so that was actually perfect. I got up to the convention around 2 o'clock, maybe 1:30. And popped in, got to hang out with Austin, the Pacific Northwest gamer, who I had been wanting to play a game with for quite some time. So we busted out Quacks of Quedlinburg. Okay, we just played Quacks of Quedlinburg, and go ahead and introduce yourself and say what you thought of it in like 2 seconds.
My name is Blair. I thought it was a fantastic push your luck game.
My name's Valentina, and I had a ton of fun playing it. I really cost myself the game, but that's okay. It was really fun.
That's all we have time for today.
Austin, I just loved the moment of like, I'm gonna pull this thing out of the bag. I know I have good stuff, and then you pull the worst thing and you blow up, and it's a lot of fun.
It's such a creepy microphone. Do you want to say your Twitter handle? Your YouTube channel?
Pacific NW Gamer on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and also Facebook now.
Does anybody else want to plug anything? Sure.
Like Instagram, I'm boardgame.burks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. So after that first run, we didn't have a ton of time to... it was pretty much I was going to get to play one more game before the convention ended, and that was perfect. And there was another group that wanted to learn Quacks of Quedlinburg, so that was Beth, who I will post her Instagram right here. It was a good way to end out the con, and really Vancouver's only like an hour away from me, and I had anticipated getting dinner there as well because there's a lot more restaurant options than there is where I live. So after the convention, I kind of Googled a few things. I tried to get back to the dumpling place that Leland and I went to on Saturday, but I didn't find it. I couldn't find it. So I kind of parked. I found there was a highly rated dim sum place nearby. I just got out and walked. Found it. It was packed, so I opted to go to this other restaurant that had nobody in it, and the food was really good. It was something I don't normally get, and I don't remember the name of the restaurant off of the top of my head, but I will post it with a picture of the food right here. I'm parked on a busy street, ready to head home, and it's nice because I'm going to get home a little bit earlier than I was anticipating, so I'll be ready for work the next day. Go to turn on my car, and nothing. A few clicks, and I realized my battery has died, which is a real bummer, being an hour from the border and realizing, oh no. But yeah, so I kind of sat there for a little bit, trying to figure out what my options were, waited to see if it would all of a sudden start working. It didn't. Did some Googling, realized that there was a tow truck company, a roadside assistance company, actually just down the street from where I was, so I gave them a call. They were able to come out in like 15 minutes and jumpstart my car for a bit of a fee, but certainly beats having someone to come pick me up and just extend the night. So really, all in all, my car breaking down completely was about maybe a 40-minute, hour-long inconvenience. Yeah, I really hope to be able to make it out to Terminal City Tabletop Con next year. If they, keep making the same level of improvements that they did this year from last. It's a really great little convention. The closest I've been to would be something like OrcaCon. OrcaCon maybe is a little more spacious. The venue is probably a little bit nicer, but great gaming, great people, great food. Just a whole weekend of a lot of fun. And yeah, also I won a $25 gift card for playing Chicken Heist. They were doing a raffle at the end of the weekend. I ended up winning it, and so now I have to figure out how to use Amazon.ca, but I'm very excited to learn and try. So yeah, that is my vlog for Terminal City Tabletop Con. Hopefully this works out, and yeah, we will see you next time.